What is up, everybody? It is Skarada, and I've come to give you guys a sweet deck profile on toilets. This card is an amazing combo deck and one of my favorite decks to play. I like to call it take your opponent into double loss or take your opponent into time the deck. It's just a really fun deck. But before we get onto the deck profile here, I just want to mention we do have a Patreon, so if you guys can pledge a donation. If not, just leave a like and subscribe. That's all we can mainly ask for. But, you know, pledging a donation just helps us get these videos out more and more. So, yeah. Anyways, on to the deck profile. Our buddy is Anemic Vampire, Dizzy Dracula, 3/2/1. When he enters the field, you put up to one toilet from your deck into your drop zone, shuffle your deck. Then when he's removed from the field into your drop zone, you gauge one and then remove a soul on the field. This card is really, really good. They just recently got this out of the last set, and it helps extend your plays so much. This deck is just a huge combo deck, and just can't wait to get on. So before moving on into the monsters here, guys, I just want to explain that the monsters I will be showing are not all of the monsters. We do play a ton of one-of monsters, and I'll be showing those after I get through the main ones. So onto our main size 0, we play for Professor Menjo, a 100 attack and defense, 1 crit size 0, pay gauge. Has the act ability of you get to put four or more different cards from your drop zone into the bottom of your deck. If you do, you gauge 2. If you put 8 or more, you draw a card. And then if you put 12 or more, you get to search your deck for any card and add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. This card is absolutely amazing. It makes the deck function the way it does. It allows you to play so many one-ups for so many specific scenarios. It's just an amazing card. And without this card, this deck wouldn't function as properly. So we mainly focus our deck around this card with milling effects and so on and so forth. So for our last size 0 in this 3-of slot, we play 3 Skelly Boy or Skull Dandy, a 1/1/1. Size 0, when he enters the field, you mill 3 cards from your deck. If there's a fairy, you get to draw a card. We play plenty of fairies. Most of the deck is, a majority of it is mainly fairies, so, you know, overall, solid card. Just helps us turbo to Menjo, and that's all we pretty much want to do. For size 1s, we play 4 of the Buddy. We already explained this card. We play a lot of cards just to be able to mill so we can extend our plays. It's really good with Hanako and so on and so forth. Next, we play 4 copies of Paper Itan Momen, a 4/2/5 pay gauge. When he enters the field, you get to tutor any toilet from your deck, add it to your hand, and then shuffle the deck. This can search spells, monsters, impacts, items, anything. This card's stupid. Really good card. Basically lets us play 4 extra copies of every other toilet in the deck. For size 3s, we play 3 Chaos Osiris. Now, people might find this card a little weird, but we do play enough size 0s to make this card work. When it enters the field, on your left and right, if you have a monster in your center, you gauge, draw a card. You can only use its ability once per turn. It has a named ability, and it is a 5/1/3 size 3. So, we do play enough size 0s to get this card off, so it is never a dead card at most often than not. So, it just helps us to speed through our deck, and we want to try to be as fast as possible. So we can get our combos flowing. Last, we play 3 Chaos Alberion. It is a 6/2/6 size 3. When he is put into the field into the drop zone, you mill 2 cards and then draw a card. He also has a named ability that can be used once per turn. Once again, just a turbo card. It helps us dig deeper in our deck, helps us get fill our drop for those Menjo targets. Moving on to the one-ofs, we play 1 Loki. He's a 3/0/5 size 0. When he enters the field, you put all soul from a card on the field into the drop zone. This just helps nuke soul from pretty much anything. It can help against our opponent, or it can help ourselves with our main toilet. Overall, solid card. Next, we play 1 Kate Sith, a 3/1/1. If you have a total of 7 or more fairies or demon lords in your drop zone, a monster in your center gets +2 crit. This card helps create an OTK that is mainly our way of finishing a game. It's just a really good card. He also has the ability when he's destroyed, you put the top 2 cards of your deck into the drop zone, but that's very minor. You mainly tutor him out so you can win the game. Next, we play 1 Migi guy. He is a 2/1/2 size 0. When he attacks, you remove his soul from a card on the field. We don't really play this for its ability. We mainly play it because it's a Dracula mill, and we want to have a few different mills other than our 3-ofs and our 4-ofs, so we can just have more names in the drop. Next, we play 1 Sonderdoch. He is a 5/2/1. When he enters the field, you mill 3 and then take a damage. Has the Act Landslide ability. If this card's in your drop zone, you pay a gauge. If you do call this card from your drop zone, you may only use Landslide once per turn. This basically pay 2 life, mill 6. Absolutely absurd. It's a really good turbo card, and you might want to search this out more often than not. But we only play 1 because we only need 1. We play 1 All King. Mill 3 cards from the top of your deck, destroy an item or spell in your opponent's field. You can only activate this ability once per turn. It's a 4/2/5. Once again, kind of same concept as Sonderdotch, just helps mill, and this gets rid of some threats like items, like if we're against like a Thura or something. Next, we play 1 OG Hanako, a 9/2/7, has triple attack built in, can only be called through the effect of a toilet item. When this enters the field, you destroy all cards in your opponent's field, and then you gain a life equal to the number of cards you destroyed. Just a really good defensive card, really good aggressive card. Next, we play 1 Reborn Hanako, kind of the same concept. It is a 9, or it is 7/2/9, so swapped ability, swap. Can only be called through a toilet item. When this enters the field, you bounce all of your opponent's cards on their field, and then burn them for each card, and it has triple attack. So this is the more aggressive version than OG Hanako, but for some reason it has defensive stats. It's just the polar opposite, which is pretty funny. Overall, solid card. Really good in the situations where you can't pop their board, but you can bounce it. Next, we play 1 Fairy King Oberon, a 9/2/7, 2 gauge. If there's a total of 7 or more hero or fairies in your drop zone, nullify the abilities of all cards in your opponent's field. All monsters, excuse me. And then this ability cannot be nullified in itself. Has double attack. So this card's really good. Good against Empire, just creating, just putting them out there nullifies their board, which is kind of hard for them to get through. And overall, solid card. Next, we play 1 Overturn Miseria, an 8/2/6. Put up to 1 spell from your drop zone and pay 2 gauge to call him. His overturn is pay 2 gauge during your main phase. Nullify the abilities of all cards in your field, and then return all cards from each player's hand, drop, gauge, and field back into their deck, and each player draws 6, gauges 2. He has double attack, Soul Guard, lifelink 2. So this card's really good. It's your main out to a Thura. You can go into him on a Thura and then try to proceed to OTK a Thura immediately after with your main OTK combo, which I'll show you with this last card, which is Magni. A 7/2/7, top card in deck, 2 soul, 2 gauge. Counteract ability, you can discard a card from your hand. You choose one of the following abilities. You can either stand him or nullify destruction for the turn. And he has double attack Soul Guard. So him plus Kate Sith is like 15 damage on his own. And then if you have a Hanako plus Toilet, you have like, I believe like 20 something damage. Just main way of winning your games. Absolutely stupid card. But we do only play one of all of those just because they're all tutorable for many of those situations. So for spells, we play 4 copies of Azura Guard, 2 of them as the Kiri promo because they do carry a different name, but it's same ability, same card effectively. But it does count as a different name for Menjo. So its ability is, its cost is put a monster on your field at the drop zone, then gauge and draw a card. We play 4 copies of this because it turbos our deck really fast. And it helps just get rid of some cards on the field that we don't need. Just lets us redraw to extend our combos further. Really good with Alberion here. Solid card overall. Next, we play 3 Great Spell, Wider Stadt, I don't know how to say that. You merely cast a spell after the first battle of your opponent's turn. Pay 2 gauge, pay 2 life. You get their attack phase immediately ends. This card is just your main defensive spell. It's good against Chaos, good against Empire. Any deck that poses a threat to you, you just stall them out and then make them lose their turn, basically. And then for our last 3 of spell, we play 3 copies of Presence or Population Reduction. I'm sorry, I don't know the actual name. And unfortunately, I do only have proxies for these because they're in the mail. But its cast cost is put a size 3 or greater monster from your field into your drop zone and pay a life. Counter, draw 2 cards. You can only use once Presence or Population Reduction per turn. So this card is really, really good. We play a lot of size 3s to get this card off, and it just helps us turbo through our deck even faster. Main reasons, it just draws us cards. So really good, helps us extend our plays. And yeah. But apologies for the proxies once again. So last but not least, the 1 of spells. I play 1 copy of the Door That Just Wouldn't Open. It's you can only cast it during an attack on your opponent's turn. Pay a gauge, nullify the attack, and then if you have a toilet, remove a soul from a card on the field. We only play this because it's a Vlad Dracula mill. Sometimes we can tutor it out as a shield, but not as often. We just mainly want to mill it just because it's a 1-of and it's a toilet. Next, put 1 Darkness Rune. It's pay a life. Choose one of the 3 abilities. Either gauge 2, remove a soul on your opponent's field, or pop a size 1 or less monster. Just a good play extender. We mainly use it for the gauge 2, but sometimes popping a size 1 can be relevant. Overall, we just mainly use it as more gauge excel. Next, we play 1 Gnosis Guard. You can discard a card from our hand, add a size 0 back from our drop zone to our hand. This card's really good because it can get back our Menjos, and getting back our Menjos is really good because it's our main combo piece. So, overall, solid card. Next, we play 1 Breathing Guard. It's basically 2 gauge to nullify a spell cast or destroy a spell in your opponent's field. It has a second effect, but it's not really relevant because we don't play Berserk Guard. Next, we play one Symbol Guard. If you only cast it if you're at 6 or less life, but if you have Brethren Guard, you can cast it without paying its cast cost. Its cast cost is 1 gauge, draw 2 cards. You can only use its ability, or you can only use this card once per turn. We do have a pretty nifty combo with our Great Spell and Sonderdatch. These 2 cards together is basically pay 4 life, which can put us at 6 sometimes. And with that combo, this is good to tutor out sometimes because it's just a free draw too if we have Brethren and drop. So really solid card. And for our last one of spell, the main card is Gambit. This card is absolutely nuts. It is return all monsters on your field into your hand. You may only cast 1 Gambit once per turn. There's an errata, but this card doesn't have it. So this is pretty much your tutor target like 90% of the time for your first target, because if you pretty much have Gambit plus like maybe if you have any of these 2 combos and maybe like another one of this or like a Sonderdatch, you're going off further beyond this combo. Just this combo with these 2 cards right here is just absolutely nuts. It helps you go further on, and just a very stupid combo. But yeah, very, very good. Pretty much your main card. And to round up the deck, we play 3 copies of Skull Campus Level 3, the 3rd toilet before you. It is a 4/2. Put the top 3 cards of your deck into this card's soul. Pay 2 gauge. When you're attacked, you can remove a soul from this card. Then it has counteract. If this card has no soul, you can send it to the drop zone, then call up to 1 toilet monster from your hand or drop zone without paying its call cost. And this card also has Soul Guard. So this card is absolutely stupid. It is a free call, and it helps us just create OTK boards or really threatening boards. Because if we have any of these 2 cards in drop, which are our main targets to call back, on our opponent's turn, we can either bounce their board and burn them, or nuke their board and gain some life. Or on our turns, we can just call a triple attacking monster that can either burn or heal us, which is just, it's stupid. Very dumb card. But we only play 3 copies just because it's tutorable, and we don't want to be playing too many copies of cards that we don't need to see in hand. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, that is the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. This deck took me a while to make because there's a lot of thought into it, and there's a lot of combos that you can go through. It's just an absolutely fun deck. You can play this deck by yourself and just solitaire it. It's just a really, really fun deck. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. You guys take it easy, and I'll catch you guys later. Leave a like and subscribe, please. But, you know, peace out.